Day 13. The disciplines cannot be the way of death. Once again, I want to share with you from Celebration of Discipline by Richard Foster. This is a book that has brought great understanding to me, so that I did not remain in the law, but began to learn how to respond to the Father in private. And I want to read from it a section. And I hope that it is an encouragement to you in your inner private life with Him. The way of death, turning the disciplines into laws. The spiritual disciplines are intended for our good. They are meant to bring the abundance of God into our lives. It is possible, however, to turn them into another set of soul-killing laws. Law-bound disciplines breathe death. Jesus teaches that we must go beyond the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees in Matthew 5:20. Yet we need to see that their righteousness was no small thing. They were committed to following God in a way that many of us are not prepared to do. One factor, however, was always central to their righteousness: externalism. Their righteousness consisted in control over externals, often including the manipulation of others. The extent to which we have gone beyond the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees is seen in how much our lives demonstrate the internal work of God upon the heart. To be sure, this will have external results, but the work will be internal. It is easy in our zeal for the spiritual disciplines to turn them into the external righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees. When the disciplines degenerate into law, they are used to manipulate and control people. We take explicit commands and use them to imprison others. Such a deterioration of the spiritual disciplines results in pride and fear. Pride takes over because we come to believe that we are the right kind of people. Fear takes over because we dread losing control. If we are to progress in the spiritual walk so that the disciplines are a blessing and not a curse, we must come to the place in our lives where we can lay down the everlasting burden of always needing to manage others. This drive, more than any single thing, will lead us to turn the spiritual disciplines into laws. Once we have made a law, we have an externalism by which we judge who is measuring up and who is not. Without laws, the disciplines are primarily an internal work, and it is impossible to control an internal work. When we genuinely believe that inner transformation is God's work and not ours, we can put to rest our passion to set others straight. We must beware of how quickly we can latch on to this word or that word and turn it into a law. The moment we do so, we qualify for Jesus' stern pronouncement against the Pharisees. Quote, "They bind heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with their finger." Close quote. Matthew 23:4. In these matters, we need the words of the Apostle Paul embedded in our minds from 2 Corinthians 3:6 in the J.B. Phillips translation. We deal not in the letter, but in the Spirit. The letter of the law leads to the death of the soul. The Spirit of God alone can give life to the soul. As we enter the inner world of the spiritual disciplines, there will always be the danger of turning them into laws, but we are not left to our own human devices. Jesus Christ has promised to be our ever-present teacher and guide. His voice is not hard to hear. His direction is not hard to understand. If we are beginning to calcify what should always remain alive and growing, He will tell us. We can trust His teaching. If we are wandering off toward some wrong idea or unprofitable practice, He will guide us back. If we are willing to listen to the heavenly monitor, we will receive the instruction we need. Our world is hungry for genuinely changed people. And I believe that can be you as you yield to Him in the true life-giving disciplines.